Josh Weinberger is a COO of Good Lawyer. He's a former M&A lawyer. He's a builder. He's someone who deeply cares about making the profession better, more forward-thinking, more human, more effective. He's definitely one of the most curious folks that I've seen about understanding other people's challenges, trying to reflect it back to them to make sure he's captured it so that he can help them. And I'm always impressed by that. So I'm going to turn to Josh now, who's going to leave us with some closing thoughts and a challenge for all of us moving forward. Josh, the mic is yours.
Right on. Thanks so much, Chad, for the introduction, and good afternoon, everybody. I always seem to get the last thought of the day, which comes with it a special kind of pressure. Not to inspire you one more time. I think we've already had plenty of that today. My role is to connect the dots, to help us move from what we've learned today to how we actually lead tomorrow. Last year, I spoke about self-awareness as the foundation for meaningful change, the mirror we hold up before we can grow. Last year was about seeing ourselves clearly. This year is about what we do with what we see, and why self-awareness must become self-expression. This year, I'm talking about what happens when the mirror shows us something we didn't want to see. My mirror revealed anger. Not the explosive kind, no table slamming or shouting, more like a background static that hums quietly through my day. I feel it when I'm rushing from one meeting to the next, when something small doesn't go as planned, or when someone circles back on something they never circled to in the first place. It's not dramatic, just constant, quiet, and draining. I don't like being angry. So where does it come from? Is it age, fatigue? Is it algorithms? Is it the pressure of perfectionism? Maybe it's all of those things. Wherever it comes from, what I've realized is this. The more I try to avoid, suppress, or deny my anger, the stronger it gets. Here's a loop I keep finding myself in. Maybe you know it too. Something bothers me, a missed expectation, a clumsy comment, a tension that should probably be addressed. But I tell myself, it's not worth the conflict. I bury it. And I tell myself, that's maturity. I'm being stoic, professional, the bigger person, but I'm not. I've just banked resentment. And resentment is like compound interest. You always pay for it over time. So as my balance grows, it leaks unintentionally, manifesting as impatience, sarcasm, sharpness, or withdrawal. And before I know it, everyone who I interact with is paying for it too. So lately I've been trying to understand what this pattern is really about. And here's what I keep coming back to. Anger isn't the problem. It's just information, a signal. It's the body's way of saying that something isn't aligned here. Now, as lawyers, we don't acknowledge anger because it doesn't fit with our professional persona, the unemotional, the composed, the unflappable advisor. So instead of responding to the body's call for action, we're trained to hit the brakes, to ignore it, to bury the emotion in the name of professionalism. No wonder so many of us burn out. Anger, properly understood, isn't weakness or a lack of discipline. It's a stimulant for action. It helps clarify what we value and where our boundaries are. So the real work isn't to suppress anger. It's to notice it, name it, and direct it. Because when anger is acknowledged, it can become fuel. When it's ignored, it manifests like poison. I'm trying not to hide my anger anymore. I'm trying to work with it to turn my developing self-awareness into conscious expression. Not through deep breathing or meditation, though I have tried both, but through something harder. Assertive communication. This is not the kind of communication that wins arguments. It's the kind that prevents arguments from turning into cold wars. Assertiveness lives in the space between silence and aggression. It's about saying what's true without turning it into a weapon. For me, that often sounds like, I'm frustrated about how that went. Can we talk about what happened? Instead of, forget it, it's fine. It's hard, especially for those of us conditioned to smooth things over. But I've learned that diplomacy without honesty isn't professionalism at all. It's performance, and that's exhausting. So now, when I feel that anger arise, I try to pause and acknowledge it. Sometimes that awareness alone is enough to stop me from defaulting to avoidance. Other days I blow it, but at least I'm noticing the pattern, and that awareness is progress. The older I get, the more I realize that being a good lawyer, leader, or teammate isn't about keeping the peace. It's about staying connected to the people, to the work, and to the issues that matter, even when things get emotional, angry, or uncomfortable. Through sport, big law, and now entrepreneurship, I've seen that good teams can handle conflict, especially when it's grounded in mutual respect and shared values. But even great teams, filled with talent and good intentions, will fall apart when they really stop talking. When the conversations become performative instead of authentic. When we trade emotional honesty for momentary harmony. So that's what today's really been about, learning how to lead and collaborate differently. We've spent this summit talking about change, how to innovate, how to lead, how to reimagine the practice of law. But none of that sticks if we don't integrate it. And integration isn't just an intellectual exercise. It's emotional work. You can't build trust while burying tension. You can't innovate if your team avoids conflict. And you can't lead if you don't stay connected when it's uncomfortable. That's what I'm still wrestling with. How to turn self-awareness to self-expression without retreating back to avoidance. I'm figuring it out. But I've noticed that every time I engage, early, honestly, and respectfully, the anger dissipates. Not because I've mastered it, but because it's been heard. So as you leave this summit and return to the clients, the teams, the inboxes, and the commitments that are waiting for you tomorrow, I'd ask you to reflect on one question. What emotion are you avoiding right now? Because understanding that emotion is probably where your growth lives. Avoiding it may buy you momentary comfort, but confronting it with courage, with clarity, and without judgment will buy you peace. Last year, I said self-awareness is the foundation of growth. This year, I'll add turning self-awareness into self-expression. That's how we lead ourselves, our teams, and our industry forward. I don't have it all figured out, not even close. I'm still wrestling with my own avoidance, still learning to turn emotion into effective action. But maybe that's what leadership really is. Not perfection, but persistence. The daily work of showing up, owning our mess, and trying again. Thank you.
Cool. Nice finish, bro. Wow.